Present at the meeting, please complete a speaker card and submit it to the city clerk before the item is presented. If you wish to participate in public comment via Zoom, you can use the raise your hand tool when the item is called. During the public comment session, speakers will be invited to speak and will have a set time to share their comments. A countdown timer will appear for their convenience, and when the time is up, the microphone will be muted. All raised hands outside of public comment will be lowered to avoid confusion. Once public comment is opened, hands may be raised to speak. There will be a 30-minute window for public comments, which will take place under item 9, public comments, as per the published agenda. After the time is up, the council will proceed with the rest of the meeting's agenda. If you have not had the opportunity to speak during the initial 30-minute period, there will be another chance to do so after item 15, city council reports. Thank you.
At this point in time, we'll move to our recognitions. Okay, so for our recognition, the first recognition is the Mayor's Award for Kindness, which is a Life Change Baptist Church. We've got several members here to accept the award. Pastor David is here, Deacon Skunardi, Jeremiah, and Viviana. Okay, come on up, please. So I'm gonna give the pin to somebody. Okay. If you can stand over here looking this way so they can see you. And then I'll read this and I'll give it to you. And I'll tell you this, what came to us was really heartfelt from the school immediately across the street. It was kind of an email that said, "You can't believe all the work that the church across the street has done for our community. They've helped during the time of COVID. They've helped during times where people were injured in crosswalks and the like, and that you always came forward, even when there was paving being done at the school site, you said, please use our parking lot." So the willingness to open your facilities and your community to not just support your own community, but the greater community is what we recognize you for. And so it says, for demonstrating kindness to Garfield Elementary community for years, be it through supporting a school parent struck by a vehicle, by offering gift baskets to teachers, donating gift cards for families in need, helping families in crisis, such as that caused by fires, homelessness, illness, or other emergencies. The church even graciously allowed school staff to park in the church parking lot instead of searching for street parking during recent construction at the school. We recognize and uplift your collaborative commitment to the Garfield Elementary community. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
And who would like to say a few words while holding this?
Oh, I can represent. All right, this is gonna be half an hour. No. So thank you very much for the city, for Garfield Elementary School, and then for the community. It's just an opportunity for us to be part and be a blessing for everybody. You know, this is chapter 1 out of 742 chapters. So there are more to come. We're gonna still cooperate, you know, working hand in hand with the school, with anybody. We just want San Leandro to be blessed. Thank you.
And then hold on. We have the beauty of another picture on this side. I know you guys are taking lots of pictures over there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so is Angie. Are you here, Angie Watson? Jim? There you are. Come on up. You are the next contestant and be recognized at City Hall. As we all recognize, the importance of fair housing is paramount. Yeah. And San Leandro has a history, along with almost the entire United States, and quite frankly, many communities around the world of discriminating against the outsider. And so I think it's important to reaffirm that commitment on a regular basis, our commitment to fair housing. And so I'm going to read this. This is actually relatively short. Whereas April 11th, 2024 marks the 56th anniversary of the passage of the Fair Housing Act, which enunciates a national policy of fair housing for all who live in the United States. And whereas the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, and national origin. And whereas economic stability, community health, and human relations in all communities are improved by diversity and integration, and fair housing is beneficial to the community. And whereas acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunity, are repugnant to common sense. A common sense of decency, a common sense of fairness. And whereas this proclamation is symbolic of San Leandro's belief in the right of each and every member of our community to peacefully enjoy their homes, and the unique quality of our city, state, and nation. Now, therefore, I, Juan Gonzalez III, Mayor of the City of San Leandro, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2024 as Fair Housing Month in the City of San Leandro, to establish San Leandro as an inclusive community committed to fair housing.
Yes, hello. Well, you know, we have been providing fair housing services for the city of San Leandro for more than 30 years now. And this city has been such a great partnership, and we really appreciate the support of our former mayors and city council members, our funders, and really helping us make sure that everyone has equal access to housing here in San Leandro. So thank you so much for all of your support throughout these 30 years, and I hope that we can continue our partnership. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's take a quick picture this way. So once a year, we find the opportunity to celebrate planet Earth. And in San Leandro, we're no different in that we celebrate it. We all recognize that planet Earth is not worthy of a one-day celebration, but a year-round celebration. But what Earth Day does is it reminds us to focus. And so I'd like to celebrate the Eco Club of San Leandro High School. Hannah Miriam, would you please come on up here? And somewhere in here at some point, luckily, I'm hoping we'll be able to play a video, because it's really easy to talk about making the world a better place and making the world have less carbon. It's easy to talk about planting trees, but it's another thing to actually go out and do it. And so one of the things that we experienced this last year is the city of San Leandro planted 1,000 trees. And the way that that happened was with community volunteers and helpers. And Anna, Miriam, you were one of those people. And what makes it even more powerful is that this did not this particular event, where I took pictures of Hannah Miriam, was not even in the city of San Leandro, but it was in the broader San Leandro community in unincorporated San Leandro. So our willingness to think bigger than just city boundaries and to think regionally and to think about community as being the greater East Bay, as part of California, the nation, and the entire world, because we're doing our part, one person at a time. Mr. Gordon, you were also there that day. Do we happen to have the video found or not found? Okay. So once we get that, I'm going to go ahead and read this so that we don't spend time waiting for videos. So whereas the global community faces challenges such as health issues, and I'll let you hold this while I read. You can read along, you can open it up, people can take pictures of you, whatever they want to do. So here we go. Whereas the global community faces challenges such as health issues, economic struggles, as well as food and water shortages. And whereas all people, regardless of race, gender, income, or geography, should have the right to healthy, sustainable environment with opportunities for economic growth and prosperity. And whereas we are all caretakers of our planet and have an obligation to combat climate change and the environmental degradation to preserve the Earth's beauty and its resources. And whereas it's necessary to broaden and diversify this global movement to achieve maximum success. And whereas this year marks the 54th anniversary of the Earth Day movement, and as the mayor of San Leandro, I encourage all businesses, all institutions, all individuals to celebrate Earth, our home, and to increase their commitment to caring for our planet, its resources, and its ecosystems. Now, therefore, I, Juan Gonzalez III, Mayor of the City of San Leandro, do hereby proclaim April 22nd, 2024 as Earth Day in the City of San Leandro, and do encourage all people in the city to support our efforts and to support efforts that address climate change and environmental degradation, and to champion a green economic initiatives, and finally, to encourage others in the community. So not just you yourself, encourage others in the community to do the same. So let's hear what Hannah had to say up there, and then I'm going to give you the mic. So what did Hannah say? We don't have audio. Well, then we're not going to listen to Hannah. We're going to listen to Hannah live.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Miriam Lieben. I'm 15 years old and in 10th grade at San Leandro High School. Eco Club is a club that's an environmental club that advocates for the environment. We plant native flowers. We recycle bottles and cans. And recently, I would like to announce that we had our second harvest for salad. We plant salads at the deck in our school. We use that salad to eat fresh salad for lunch. And I decided to join Eco Club because I wanted to help my community. From 2022 to 2023, I planted 36 trees, and I became part of the tree master plan for San Leandro, and that's how I met our wonderful mayor right here. And I learned that our mayor, he teaches by action. I saw him planting trees, and I was like, oh wow, our mayor, he's advocating for us. He leads by action, and that's how I met the mayor. And that time he interviewed me, and that's the interview you just saw earlier.
So we'll see. All right. Let's get a quick picture. And then if the video plays, the video plays. If not, I'm going to tell you what the video says. Okay. Do we have sound or no sound? Okay, so we have no sound. But let me tell you, the interview ends with this question. I said, Hannah Miriam, what do you think you're going to feel in 20 years when you come back and look at this tree? And she said, proud. I'm gonna feel proud. We're proud of you. Okay, so our fourth recognition is our final recognition. Fourth recognition is I'm going to involve our vice mayor in just a second. Let me make the announcement first. So this is with respect to recognizing the Stephen Taylor Sanctity of Every Human Life Day. And in particular, I want the community to know that tomorrow, April 16th at 6:30, the project's curator, so this is for the pavilion that's being built at the marina, that the project's art curator will deliver a presentation to the Arts, Cultural, and Library Commission, showcasing various options for the art component to be installed at the pavilion site. The commission will then make a recommendation to us, the City Council, for selection in May. So to provide input, that's one of the avenues, so please show up and share your thoughts. Of course, you can always send us emails or leave us voicemails. And then this Thursday, April 18th at 10 a.m., there'll be a tree planting at the pavilion site in honor of Stephen Taylor and the sanctity of life, which will also involve celebrating the CAL FIRE grants completion, whereby we celebrate the planting of the 1,000 trees in the city of San Leandro. So the last thought here, Vice Mayor, if you would come down. So we have had for 4 years now a proclamation read on this day, recognizing April 18th as Stephen Taylor Sanctity of Life Day. And Vice Mayor was the person who drafted the original proclamation 4 years ago. And so I will give him the honor of presenting the proclamation today.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to invite up Miss Addie Kitchen. Miss Addie Kitchen is the grandmother of Stephen Taylor. And to give you a little background on Stephen Taylor Sanctity of Life Day, Stephen Taylor is a young man who grew up in San Leandro. He went to McKinley Elementary School, Bancroft Middle School, San Leandro High School. Stephen was one of us. Stephen was having a mental health crisis. He was killed in the Walmart off of Hesperian, April 18th, 2020. In 3 days is going to mark 4 years since that occurred. Stephen died. He was fatally shot by the San Leandro Police Department. And what we do on April 18th is we recognize that day of the sanctity of every human life, including people of color. I do want to recognize since then, the past 4 years, we have made some improvements, and we're going to continue to work hard to make even more improvements. And a couple things that we've done is we're working on a mental health response program. Our fire department is now preparing a proposal for that, such that when someone's having a mental health crisis, a team who is trained how to handle de-escalation and how to handle mental health response will be there. And that should be rolling out, hopefully, if all goes well with our proposal sometime later this year. We also, with our police department, we've had no other fatal shootings of those in mental health crisis since Stephen Taylor has died. And that's hats off to our police department and all of our staff, city council, and everyone in the community. And with that, I would like to read our proclamation, and then I'll hand it to Miss Addie Kitchen for a few words. A day recognizing Stephen Taylor and the sanctity of every human life. Whereas on April 18th, 2020, Stephen Taylor was fatally shot by a former employee of the San Leandro Police Department at the Hesperian Walmart in San Leandro. And whereas Stephen Taylor was an African-American male, 33 years of age, graduate of San Leandro High School, who was a son, grandson, and a father, and who was unhoused at the time he was fatally shot. And whereas, according to contacts Stephen had with the San Leandro Police Department, Stephen Taylor had a history of suffering mental health crises in San Leandro before his death. And whereas people with untreated mental illness are 16 times more likely to be killed during a police encounter than other civilians approached or stopped by law enforcement, according to a study released by the Treatment Advocacy Center. And whereas, according to national studies, African Americans are more likely to experience fatal encounters with the police than any other ethnic population. And whereas the city of San Leandro recognizes the sanctity of every human life and supports policies for de-escalation tactics and verbal persuasion to save the lives of all persons. And whereas the city of San Leandro continues to be deeply saddened by the loss of Stephen Taylor on April 18th, 2020, and whereas the Stephen Taylor Sanctity of Life Pavilion, located at the marina, will be a public space intended to bolster community understanding, healing, reconciliation, and awareness of belonging among San Leandro visitors and residents. Now, therefore, Juan Gonzalez III, Mayor of the City of San Leandro, hereby proclaims April 18th, 2024, as a day recognizing Stephen Taylor and the sanctity of every human life in the City of San Leandro, as a day to honor Stephen Taylor's lives and other lives lost to violence, including people of color. Now I'll hand it to you, Ms. Kitchen.
Thank you so much. I thank you for all the work that you've done. Um, I'm speechless. We've been doing this for 4 years, and we will continue to fight for justice for all impacted families. Stephen wasn't the only person who was fatally shot in a mental health crisis. There have been others here in San Leandro, and my wish and prayer is that it would never happen again. No one should have to be, that's not the way we deal with people. All people, people of color, other human beings, we're human and we need to be treated as humans. So I thank you. I thank the city of San Leandro for continuing to work to get this to never happen again. And just let folks know that they're working hard, that it doesn't ever happen again in the city of San Leandro. Thank you so much. Thank you, city of San Leandro, so much. Thank you.
So at this point in time, we're going to move on with the rest of our agenda. It is a very short agenda today. Our recipients are more than welcome to depart. There's no shame in leaving a little bit early. So feel free to leave, but you're welcome to stay and enjoy the rest of our agenda. So item number 4 is really the amendment of the consent calendar. Is there any item that members would like to pull from our consent calendar? Councilmember Aguilar, please.
If there are no amendments, I'd like to move the consent calendar.
Councilmember Blue.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilmember Aguilar to approve our consent calendar. Got a second from Councilmember Baloo on that motion. At this point in time, I will take public comment.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, we have one comment in person and one online. Sarah Bailey in person.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bailey, and I live in District 5. Item 5D on the consent calendar, which you've just approved, asks that you vote to accept a federal grant to build a retaining wall on the upslope from Lake Chabot Road. I support this, and everyone I know supports this. We don't support putting cars on the road once the retaining wall is built. Since Lake Chabot Road was closed, it's become a quiet, open space with trees and shade for people who bike and walk. Its closure gave the people who live in Lower Bay Vista on Lake Chabot Road and in Chabot Terrace their own neighborhood. They can cross the street, pull out of their driveways, or out of the cul-de-sac safely. After the road closed, they had their first neighborhood barbecue. But there are some in Upper Bay Vista who want to ruin all that and install a lane for cars going both directions with a traffic signal at each end. That's unacceptable. Residents of Lower Bay Vista would have to wait in line to get to their homes. They'd have to breathe the air polluted by all those cars waiting in line. Please don't let cars back on Lake Chabot Road. Keep Lower Bay Vista residents safe and the road a quiet, peaceful place under the trees. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, there's no more public comment in person.
Please proceed online.
AT, can you get the timer online? Douglas Spalding, you may unmute yourself.
Thank you. Good evening, council.
it occurs to me that it actually, oh, and kudos to Sarah Bailey. Here, I support what you just, what you were advocating. It occurs to me that if you took public comment seriously, you would take public comment before you move the agenda and second it. It has occurred in the history of the city council that sometimes public comment has gotten council members to pull certain items for further discussion, but that's not really possible. I'd like to comment on the two items involving the San Leandro Police Department, items A, and I thought that was 5G. First of all, with regards to the military equipment, it seems this council, it just isn't going to say no to the police department no matter what. They say military equipment, and you say how much. Now, I just attended a meeting of the council last week where we were discussing the hard financial times, how we don't have enough money for everything. So it behooves, it just confounds me why we are spending way overspending on the military equipment. We're buying twice as many as assault weapons as we need. I'm not going to say we don't need a SWAT team, but we don't need 2 assault rifles for every SWAT team member. We don't need a tank. Maybe that's something that the Alameda County Sheriff could take on for us. We actually, as a council, you should have more oversight on the ways and means of military equipment, but you are not willing to take that on, I take. With regards to the contract with the Alameda Sheriff's Office for 911, it seems like a good idea to me. It seems like it will save money. My concern is when things are dispatched to the Alameda County Sheriff, are they going to be dispatched in the way that we want in terms of, for example, responding to mental health crises? Do the sheriffs go by the same rules that the San Leandro police do? Thank you.
Thank you. There's one more hand up.
Please take it.
Karen Fernandez, you may unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I'm in the wrong place here. I was running a little bit late, but I did want to do a thank you. Is this just like public comments?
So we will get to the general public comment in about 10 minutes, if not sooner. So if you could wait.
Okay, I'm
just a
sorry.
few
I'll
minutes.
wait until then. I'm
No
sorry.
worries. This is just the consent calendar, so we're almost there.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, so at this point in time, I'll close public comment. I'm going to come back to my council members to see if there's any additional discussion. Vice Mayor.
Yes, I'd just like to make a comment on the Lake Chabot Road item. I do support the item that's going forward tonight, but I do want to recognize the public commenters that spoke tonight on the ultimate, the final condition of that road. And I'm looking forward to more discussion on our council. And I am looking forward to an environmentally friendly option for that road. And I look forward to when that discussion is going to happen.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, let's vote.
All votes are in. Motion passes 7-0.
So we had no items removed from the consent calendar. No, we did not have closed session today. Are there any announcements or reports from legal city managers? So seeing none, let's go now to our general public comment. So this is where I know we've got at least a couple of public commenters who speak in this space.
Mr. Mayor, we have 2 public comments in person. And it looks like 1 online.
I believe this is where Ms. Fernandez, there she goes. She did want to speak in this section in particular. Let's take in person first, if you don't mind.
Gail Thomason,
Thank you. I'm Gail Thomason with Electric Power, an energy storage system whole house battery company founded and operating Electric Power's research and development and warehouse on Davis Street in San Leandro. We're a proud member of the San Leandro Chamber of Commerce. Very recently, Electric Power was awarded the inaugural Clean Tech Breakthrough Award for Energy Management System Solution Provider of the Year. The Clean Tech Breakthrough is a leading independent market intelligence organization that evaluates and recognizes standout climate and clean technology companies, products, and services around the globe. Electric Power was the only company in this category to win this award. In addition to Electric Power's Sustainable Communities Network, Powered Up program continues to add communities in Southern California, assisting in promoting the installation of solar and energy storage on low to moderate income households at no upfront cost, no minimum credit score, no tax lien, and no monthly equipment rental costs. We coordinate with other organizations for weatherization, electrification, and energy efficiency programs to optimize the benefits to the homeowner. I know several of you have heard about the program, and your Dr. Mox continues to gather questions and concerns to vet the program. It's my hope that San Leandro will lead and be the first Northern California community, as many Southern California communities are already moving forward with the program. Many of you know Jim and Louise Lovewell, who are very active community members. Jim is our founder, one of our founders. We're very proud of him. And if you have any interest or questions, I'm happy to follow up. You'll see me at the Mayor's State of the City event. I think it's next week, Tuesday, and the Chamber's Best of San Leandro meeting as well. Thank you.
thank you. Mike Katz-LaCave.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Mike Katz-LaCave. Last year, the state of California passed a law to eliminate the use of excited delirium as a cause of death. The term was exclusively used as the cause of death when police killed someone, usually by asphyxiation or with a taser. It was used as a diagnosis by law enforcement, despite law enforcement generally not being trained to diagnose such a condition, if one actually existed. But turns out that excited delirium is not recognized by the American Medical Association, the World Health Organization, or most importantly, the American Psychiatric Association. So, why am I telling you this? Well, imagine my surprise to find excited delirium in the policies of the San Leandro Police Department. Policy 434.3 states, quote, whether the person is showing signs or symptoms of excited delirium. I should note that we do purchase those policies from a company called Lexipol. So they are not written by San Leandro Police, they're adopted by them. But it is unclear how much review of these policies is conducted before they are adopted by the San Leandro Police Department. Previously, excited delirium was included in the San Leandro Police Department use of force policy, where it stated persons who exhibit extreme agitation, violent, irrational behavior accompanied by profuse sweating, extraordinary strength beyond their physical characteristics, and imperviousness to pain, sometimes called excited delirium, unquote. I am here to ask that the San Leandro Police Department policies be reviewed to eliminate the use of the term excited delirium to comply with California state law, and any training materials that may be used by the San Leandro Police Department. In addition, a thorough review of the policies should be conducted to ensure that the policies actually comply with California state law. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, we will now go to public comment online.
Thank you.
Karen Fernandez, you may unmute yourself.
Thank you and good evening. And I want to give a big shout out to the millions of volunteers, as next week is the National Volunteer Week. And speaking of volunteers, the nonprofit Community Action Council is official now. And we'll be having a launch party mid-May. And all of you and all residents will be invited. Those invites are coming soon. I just want everybody to know that there's a deep desire to have a partnership with the crime and prevention team, as well as the police and other San Leandro City departments. This nonprofit was formed to help with the membership drives and training, including whatever else the San Leandro Neighborhood Watch program needs. So how can we help? Well, as a supportive nonprofit, we will be working with our neighbors divided within the 7 police beats. We are here to support the current Neighborhood Watch program. We are not affecting the background or the back end, rather, for any of the residents to report incidents. That is up to the city. That's not up to us. We are here to help get the volunteers. So given this, and that we're official now, we will proceed with the membership drives and resident training starting mid-May. Thank you for your support, and congratulations, and continue the good work as volunteers out in our city of San Leandro. Thank you.
Thank you. Douglas Spalding, you may unmute yourself.
Here, Mike Katzakob. That's my point exactly. We have a just say yes policy when it comes to the San Leandro Police Department. The Citizens Police Review Board made recommendations to the council, which you rejected, all of them. And in doing so, you tell the CPRB that they're just not really that important. That's disrespectful. You know, I said I attended the meeting last Monday, and you know, my limited understanding of finances is it is a function of revenue and expenditures, and we can't just continue spending. And I think that you all do not do a very good job of really critically thinking about things. We need to make more critical decisions, and we need to not spend money sometimes. And we can't just say yes to all the revenue ideas either. There's some things that are not good ideas. I was surprised to hear the mayor say during the discussion that in his time as vice chair of the budget task force that he'd been looking for the golden pot of money. You know, most people don't make their budgeting decisions. Most entities don't budget on the basis of winning the lottery. But the value of the budget task force is that it allowed us to have a discussion and have a more critical eye towards all those line items, and also to discuss revenue possibilities. Finally, I want to say I'm very worried about the sustainability initiatives in our city. And while we planted we're about to plant the 1,000th tree, we came up 4,000 trees short of the CAL FIRE grant. And while Dr. Mock did an amazing job, we expected them to just do it all, to not only get the grant, but manage the grant and plant, 4,000 trees or so. It's disrespectful the way that we look at Dr. Mock and other people doing sustainability work like this. San Leandro Friends of the
Your
Crew.
time is up.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, there is no more public comment.
Okay, at this point in time, proceed with our agenda. Today, we do not have a public hearing scheduled. Are there city council calendar announcements that folks would like to make? Councilmember Aguilar, please.
Thank you, Mayor Gonzalez. The California League of Cities will be hosting their leadership conference in Sacramento this week, and I will participate on Thursday. Thank you.
Councilmember Bowen.
Yes, I wanted to echo Councilman Aguilar's announcement about the Cal City Summit. I will be there as well in Sacramento. And then I also wanted to mention now in advance, since we won't have, and I won't get a chance to do it until May 6th, but I will be at the San Leandro Farmers Market on May 8th at a booth to just be of service to District 5 and the city if you want to come down and just share things that are happening in District 5.
Councilmember Azevedo, please.
Yes, I will also be at the California League of Cities in Sacramento from Wednesday to Friday.
Okay, my announcements are also at the League of Cities. The State of the City will be held on Tuesday at the Marina Community Center. Doors open at 6. The discussions begin at 6:30. On Thursday, the 25th, so it's 2 days later, Councilmember Bowen and I will be participating in a panel discussion around hate and our commitment against hate, really to promote love in our city. That same night, there's a Best of San Leandro Awards by the San Leandro Chamber of Commerce. So please find ways to be involved and support organizations. And that Friday night, we also have the SLED, San Leandro Education Foundation Gala. It is quite a busy week. And then last but not least, I will be traveling to Washington, D.C. Starting Saturday night. I'll fly overnight, go and do advocacy at Congress, specifically with respect to homelessness funding. And I'll be joining Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, and others on that trip. Vice Mayor, please.
Yes, I just wanted to repeat again, this Thursday will be our tree planting ceremony. It'll be the 4th year since Stephen Taylor's was fatally shot. It'll be at 10 a.m. at the Marina at the future site of the Sanctity of Life Pavilion, which is at the south end of the Marina. And hope all can join. Thank you.
Okay, we have no item 12 presentations or item 13 action items today. Are there any requests to schedule agenda items from council? Okay, seeing none, any council member reports? Okay,
Mayor, I was in queue.
for
14.
14, for item 14. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to bring forth to our planning session to review our police policy to remove excited delirium from our handbook since it's banned from the state of California.
If I could just clarify a couple of things. First, I understand that the speaker said that it was listed as a cause of death in particular. Are you saying to just review the policies in general with respect to this concept?
Yes, to ban the term from our language.
Okay. And so then I'll turn to city manager because I was under the impression that we had closed for this specific session, but I'll pass it to you, city manager.
Mayor and Councilmember Aguilar. So because this is changing police policy is at the operational level, we can certainly do that just as an administrative process. We don't need council direction. And I understand from the chief, we actually have a contractor right now looking at all of our Lexipol policies because we do have some that are out of date. And Chief Hart was working very hard to try to get many of those updated before Chief Averett showed up next week. So I can assure you I don't need a referral. I will make it happen.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Baloo. Is this item 14?
Pardon me?
14?
Yes, thank you. Since we went back, I figured I'll jump on. I understand that this Saturday's strategic planning session may be closed, but I do want to bring up a point. I've been having some conversations, and one, first of all, I think the 89-938 really does. They've asked me to elevate their voice. They do support the decisions the council has made recently with regard to everything, but they would like to see us focus as a city on bringing more public art to San Leandro. And I understand from talking to our city manager today that there may already be something in the works with how we look at development fees, et cetera. But I want to bring up at that strategic planning session, if it's possible, and if it's not, I just want to float the idea for my colleagues that we try and get a renewed commitment for some either grant funding or something. And I spoke with the library director who oversees our arts commission. I know they've been very active, but I do think it's an area that I can't imagine anyone would be against us moving forward to bring more public art to San Leandro. It is, people may say, oh, you're worried about art and not public safety. They go hand in hand. The studies show, so I think this is something I'd like to bring for a conversation. I don't think it would be one of our big four. I think we need to focus on our big three, but I will be bringing that up if there's an opportunity.
I think Councilmember Bowen has already asked, and it's been referred, it's on our agenda, this concept of a quality of life strategic priority. It might be a place where we can talk about it and see if we want to make that an element. Would you like to offer any additional thoughts?
I would, because I think it's important that council knows this work is already underway. It's part of your infrastructure work plan. Community development director is working on a development fee study. That's if the conversation is broader than expanding an art fee underneath that study, then we certainly would appreciate some direction from council. But that is already in the current council work plan.
Mr. Mayor, with your permission, I would say I probably won't bring it up at the strategic planning, but I would like maybe that we get a work session before the end of the year on, to hear what community development is doing. Not that they're not busy enough already, and then maybe come up with some other ideas, some general ideas. However, Mr. Mayor, when you're in Washington, D.C., it might be a good time to see if there's any federal money available.
Secret pots of money. I will go looking for them. Item number 15, City Council reports. Councilmember Aguilar, please.
Thank God I got in the queue in time. Mayor, so I attended the 1,124th meeting of the Board of Trustees, Alameda County Mosquito Abatement District. We introduced and welcomed new board member, Dr. Maya Manoharan from the city of Livermore. We also went over our budget. We did also find out that there were West Nile virus that was detected on a bird that was found in Union City. So please, dead birds do represent a bad omen. So if you do find a dead bird, please contact the Alameda County Mosquito Abatement to report that. And if you can, please report any or save any mosquitoes and call vector control to come and test those. That concludes my report. Thank you.
So I'm going to move to our final item, which is adjournment. And we do have a request from Vice Mayor Simon for a specific adjournment. And I think that it is noble and appropriate.
Thank you. I'd like to close out tonight's meeting in honor of a longtime scout leader here in San Leandro. His name is Alan Dunn. He passed away on Tuesday at the San Leandro Kaiser Hospital. Alan was a scout leader for over 40 years and just an incredible wealth of knowledge, caring, and love for so many scouts, many of which have become Eagle Scouts. And his funeral was yesterday, absolutely beautiful funeral. First time at a Jewish funeral, and it was incredible how the love and caring and the burial, where everyone takes the shovel upside down, throws a little bit of dirt in to show that we don't want this to happen. Lay the shovel on the ground for the next person to take, and then so on, and everyone participated. So I'd like to close this meeting out in honor of Alan Dunn tonight.
So why don't we take just a few moments of silence, please. In his memory for his great contributions to our city, we are adjourned. The time is 7:50.